Potato, chicken, 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 chicken.
Shalom, Rabbi.
How is everybody this morning?
Good.
How you feeling, Lev? Asher, you're not crying this morning. Yeah, kind of hurt that little fever. All right, we couldn't talk to you because you were too little. All right, Sanchez land. Nana waving this. You got the ruler, Nana. You got the ruler.
She has a comb.
A comb. Oh, very good. You said the word comb very well. Oh, very good. All right, kids. Let's start off our morning with some prayer and the Shema and the Ten Commandments. Okay. Let's Lev's gonna pray. Manjaris is gonna do the Shema. Lev's gonna do the Ten Commandments in Ivrit.
Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for everything you have given us. Please, Lord, help us to understand what you are teaching us. Thank you for letting us wake up another day and help us to understand what you are teaching us today and help us not to get distracted. And in Yeshua's name, Amen.
Shema Israel, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malkuto Leolam Vayed. Hear Israel, the Lord our God is one God.
In Hebrew or English?
Hebrew.
Alright. Anochi Yehovah Elohecha, lo yeh lecha Elohim acharim al pnei, lo titza et shem Yehovah Elohecha lashaf, zekor et yom ha'shabbat lakacho, kebet et avicha ve'et imacha, lo tisa, lo tinav, lo tibnov, lo ta'aneh Vercha et shiker,
Lo Takmod.
Lord Takmod. Lord Takmod. Lord Takmod. Ah. All right. Good job there, Lever Baloney. All right. Now we're starting our second day of theology for this week. And we're going to be in Shemot. Now we're going to be learning a lot of the laws. Jehovah starts to give us the laws to live our lives by. And in our first one we're going to be talking about today is if somebody does something wrong, what we can do to fix it, and that's something called a ransom. All right, Benjamin, read Shemot 21, verse 29 and 30. Benjamin.
Okay. However, if the ox was in the habit of goring in the past, and the owner was warned, but did not confine it, so that it ended up killing a man or a woman, then the ox is to be stoned, and its owner too. It's to be is to be put to death. However, a ransom may be imposed on him, and the death penalty will be commuted commuted
Commuted.
commuted in if he commuted if he pays the amount imposed.
Did you eat breakfast this morning, Benjamin?
No.
See? Everybody must eat breakfast before we start class. I don't want to hear no excuses. Your brain needs the fuel to think. Okay? Not eating breakfast during class because it's not needs to get into your stomach and then through everything else, your digestive system to get to your brain. Benjamin, I don't want to hear another excuses the rest of this week, Benjamin. Okay. Now we got a couple of words we got to look at so we know and understand what we're reading. Okay. Now, what this passage is talking about is something called responsibility. Responsibility. Let's see here. Lev, what does the word responsibility mean? Responsibility.
Responsibility is something that you have to like you have to well, I don't know how to explain it, but I'll try. So what was the part again?
Responsibility.
Responsibility is like you're taking care of you're not leaving your stuff everywhere, and you're not alright. You're not leaving your stuff everywhere, and
Asher, it's not all about you.
He wants to be part of the class, but
Okay, Asher, tell me what responsibility is. Because Lev, forgot what the word is. Lev, did you have your coffee this morning, Lev?
Well, we're having orange juice right now.
I think you need to start your day off with coffee.
Coffee's too hot.
You can have iced coffee. Asher, now you stop it now. Good boy. You be a good boy. All right. I'll come to you in a moment, Ben. Let's see Yeshua. Yeshua, can you explain to me what the word responsibility? What is responsibility, Yeshua?
My responsibility is to do my homework, to clean the table, and put the things for eat.
Can't Nana do your homework?
No.
Why can't Nana do your homework?
Because she scribbles my pages. She scribbles my coloring.
Can Nana do your setting the table job?
No.
Why not?
Because she might throw the food in the floor or juice.
Well, what if she could do that? Why
Sometimes she tries to help. She tries to help.
Nana, sit down. Sit down, Nana. Leave your sister alone.
And sometimes she cleans up. She likes to clean up the room.
No, but what I'm talking about is why can't she do it? I mean, let's say she was the same age as you. Let's say Nana was the same age as you. Why shouldn't she do it? Because it's your what?
It's my job to do it. It's my responsibility.
Ah, it's your responsibility. Benjamin, explain to me responsibility.
Responsibility is taking care of your own things. For example, like my responsibility is taking out the dog. My responsibility is taking out the trash. My responsibility is doing my homework. And my responsibility is helping my mother.
Very good. Very good. Okay, now we understand. Let's see. Marlies has got her hand up. Little hand, little hand, little Marlies.
Well, our responsibility isn't exactly taking care of things that belongs to you. Actually, it can also be like, for example, babysitting. Then the child you're taking care of is your responsibility.
Very good, Marlies. All right, Lev's got her hand up. Lev.
Responsibility is our obligations, and it's like nothing can stop you from doing the obligation that your mom tells you unless you're sick.
Well, then you get a sick day.
Yep.
Then you get a sick day. All right, so we need to understand what responsibility is first. Now we're going to reread with feeling. Let's see. Mia, read verse. Okay, Lev, read verse 29 and 30 with feeling. Because we're now that we understand responsibility, let's see what's going on in the Torah.
However, if the ox was in the habit of goring in the past, and the owner was warned but did not confine it, so that it ended up killing a man or woman, then the ox is to be stoned, and its owner is to be put to death. However, a ransom may be imposed on him, and the death penalty will be commuted if he pays the amount imposed.
Okay, so we needed to understand responsibility. Everybody give Lev a big hand for reading. Big hand. Ah, big hand. Ah, she got the big hand. Good job, Lever Baloney. All right, now the first thing we got to understand now is what is goring. Okay, Arlena, this might be, you might not know it. It might be a little bit too old for you. What is goring? A habit of goring. There's something that the ox is doing something, and it's something bad. Do you know what the word goring is?
Did you do something bad?
Okay, the ox is doing something bad. Do you know what this something bad is? You got some of it right.
What does the ox usually have on the head?
You ever see a big? You might think it's a cow, but it's an ox. And some. It's got some things on top of its head. Do you know what those things are called on top of a male ox's head? Because there's boys and girls.
I don't know that on their head though.
Okay. All right, listen up then. You're good. He's doing something. Wait 1 second. I'll come back to you, Ben. Let's see. Marley, Miss Apple Eater. Apple Eater Marley. She loves her apples. All right. Can you tell me what the word goring is?
Well, the oxen here is goring the person, which means he's ripping him apart.
What he takes the person in one hand and puts him in the other hand, and because you can't use the
Yeah.
word, I'm looking for what the word goring means, and you use the word goring in the definition. So how am I supposed to know what goring means? I'm trying to find out what goring means.
Yeah, go ahead, Marlies.
It means the ox is brutally murdering the victims.
How?
By like ramming them, stomping on them, kicking them any way possible.
Well, specifically, it's goring. Well, let me go back to Marley. What are you doing with your head, Marley?
Like ramming.
Well, what's he got on his head?
Horns.
Oh, see, that's what I was looking for.
Sharp. Well, maybe. But it can pierce skin, of course.
Okay, so
Right.
okay, now go back to Benjamin. Benjamin, and then to Victoria, you'll be next after Benjamin. Benjamin, what is goring? Explain to me goring.
Goring means like when a goat has like or an ox has horns and they run into like a man or a woman and they hit him and they injure him. That's what goring means. Like the animal is injuring him.
Okay, very good. Let's see what Victoria has to say. Victoria, tell me what goring is.
Goring is like goring is like sorry because we just got in the car. I wasn't paying attention.
You just listen then if you're in the car. Homeschooling can be done anywhere, even in the car. All right. All right. Mia had her hand up. Mia.
Okay. Well, when it says goring, like the ox has been having a goring in the past, it means the ox was chasing people around and like hitting them with the horns. The horns don't necessarily they aren't sharp, but with the force that the ox does, like charging towards a person, can puncture the person and wound the person and end up killing the person. And I have a question. In bullfighting, when the person tempts the ox is pretty much being tempted. What would happen to the ox then if the ox is being tempted to chase the person?
Well, first, bullfighting is wrong because you're being mean to an animal, and we're supposed to take care of the animals. Okay, we can eat the animals, but Jehovah put us in charge. The Father put us in charge of all the animals. So if you're poking at your sister, you're constantly poking at your sister, and finally Lev comes up to you and punches you in the nose. Okay, you were tempting her, you were bugging her, and so bullfighting is doing the same thing. You're like, and then the bull wants to gore you. Okay, but this is that nobody's doing that to the bull, to the ox in the scripture. Okay, the ox is not being tempted; he's in the habit of goring. That means he's not listening, because remember, animals have souls. Because in Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 9, verse 6, Jehovah says everything's going to have to give an accounting. So that means everybody, all the living, everything that has breath has a soul. Okay, now man and woman is redeemed, and that's what we're talking about. Redeeming. Okay, but responsibility. So if your responsibility is go, everybody go like this. Everybody. If you're constantly doing that to your brother, your sister, or another person, they're finally gonna get, what are you doing? Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Okay. So the ox, everybody get the ox. Everybody get the ox. And the ox will, everybody go, okay. So the ox, but nobody was doing it. And said, however, if the ox was in the habit of goring in the past, and the owner was warned but did not confine it, now we're talking about responsibility. Now let's go to Leah. Leah, what does the word confine mean? What does the word confine? What is a man supposed to do with the ox?
Confine means to like trap them.
Trap?
like to not get too much, to set limits. Like, don't get too much in their space.
Well, we're sort of in the ballpark. Allie Mae, what does it mean to confine it? The owner was warned but did not confine it. Allie Mae?
The word confine. I think it means to like put it in a space where it can't get loose.
Put it in a space that can't get loose. Pretty good. Let's see. Adrian, what does the word confine mean?
The word confine means to keep something or someone in a small area. Keep them in a room that they cannot escape.
Okay, very good. Marlies.
What I was thinking, like confined meant there, was like probably to bound the ox, so that it can't like kill anymore.
Well, what do you mean by bound the ox, Marlies?
Probably like you put it on, like put a bunch of chains on it, or like ropes.
Okay, very good. Very good. Mia's waving her hand fervishly.
Confining would be like to set boundaries or limits, like what Leia said. Set boundaries. In front of the ox. Like, this is where you can go, and this is where you can't go. Like, put the ox either in its own field by itself, with, of course, with a strong fence around, so that the ox will not, charge through the fence and get out. Or either put it in a barn or something, somewhere where it can't get to people.
Very good. Very good. Okay. It took us a moment to learn this word because the key is when we're talking about the Torah, we're talking about the Brit Hadashah, the Tanakh, or the Tanakh, we need to understand vocabulary. Okay? So if you don't know what goring is, you're like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, what is goring? Okay, so everybody, do your bull, your ox. Everybody like, okay? Right? So the ox was in the habit. That means the ox was always doing it. A habit is something that you always do. Right, Lila? Ah, go ahead, Lila. Very good, Lila. Very good, Lila. Very good. Okay. So the habit means something that you do all the time. Like a habit would be like you get up in the morning, you gotta go to the bathroom. Okay. The first thing you do when you get up in the morning, gotta go to the bathroom. Gotta go to the bathroom. Okay. And then after you go to the bathroom, you like to eat breakfast first before getting dressed. Okay. So some people like to get dressed first. All depends what your habits are. Okay. Lev is in the habit of doing this with her hair. She's learning the Leia. Everybody do the Leia. Everybody do the Leia. Everybody do the Allie Mae. Ah! And everybody do the Mia. Okay. So people have certain habits, okay? So the ox was in the habit of doing it. But the responsibility of the owner, what does it mean, Yeshua? Well, Dots has got her ponytail. She's using her ponytails as horns. Okay. Okay. Yeshua, it says the owner was warned. What does it mean to warn somebody, Yeshua?
They tell something.
Explain it a little bit more, Lucy. Nana. Nana. Come back and sit down in your chair and sit down for class. You all sit for class. That's what homeschooling's all about. Everybody sits around the same table. The one-room schoolhouse. Yeshua, what is warned? What does it mean? The owner was warned but did not confine it.
The owner was warned. He's like, here's some money, like money.
No, let's see, Arlena. Arlena, the owner was warned. What does it mean to warn somebody?
A warning.
Did you eat your breakfast this morning, Arlena?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have orange juice this morning or just your milk?
Milk.
Okay. So if mommy says, I'm going to warn you, Arlena, what does it mean? You're next, Benjamin. Benjamin, help out Arlena. And Arlena, I want you to repeat what Benjamin, if I say Benjamin, you're right, then you're going to repeat what Benjamin said. Benjamin, what does it mean? The owner was warned.
It means that, like, for example, like if a child does something and like he does it on purpose and the mother warns him, like if you do it again and if you do it again, that's like warning. Like your mother warned you not to do that again.
Very good. Aria, you want to answer, Aria? What did Ben say? What did Ben just say? Now you're going to be quiet. You never shut up during the whole day. Now you're going to be quiet. Hi, Arlena. What did Ben say? You're not listening this morning, Miss Arlena.
I am listening.
Okay, then tell me what Ben said.
Like, and you like try to do something bad,
Say it again a little louder, please.
and you try to do like try to do something bad,
We're getting there. We're getting there.
and the mom says, and I'm warning you, and that means to don't do it again.
Very good. Very good. All right, Lev. Lev's got her hand up, and then Marlene.
It means like the owner was warned like don't let your bull like harm other people. Let's say someone says that to the person, to the owner, but the owner just doesn't care, and he just leaves the gate open, and the bull goes roaming out to the city like looking for someone to harm.
Okay, yes, very good, Lev. Marlise, are you eating apples too?
Yeah, I'm also eating apples. And well, about warn means is like basically it's like warning. It can mean two things. Like something's going to happen to someone, like danger is coming, and the person warns that person, or like or the owner her is doing something bad by being careless, and then the other person is warning them that something bad will happen one day. So, but warning means like saying something will happen if that person does not discipline his ox.
Very good. And why? All right, now we're we're gonna move up to the older kids a little bit for a few minutes. Okay. Now the owner was warned, but he didn't do what? He didn't take on his R. Leia. The word began with an R. We started to talk about today's class with an R. Leia.
Responsibility. You're muted.
Allie Mae, very good, Leia. Responsibility. Now, Allie Mae, explain to me responsibility because we're going to go to the next part of the law.
Responsibility means that you take care of what you need to do. Like if you have a set of rules or a set of things that you're supposed to do set by your parents or a guardian that is taking care of you for that day, then your responsibility is to do those things in that period of time that they tell you.
Very good. And the responsibility is to do the things in the time they told you. Now, do you have any responsibilities at the store there?
Sometimes I run the register, or sometimes I help put things out on the racks.
I'm going to give you a new responsibility. Want a new responsibility?
What? Sherry, yeah.
Okay. 3 times a day.
Oh, no, please don't.
No,
Please
you already said.
No. I take it back. Please don't do that to me.
No, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Your responsibility to say God bless you to 3 people a day.
Okay.
Everybody go Allie Mae. Everybody point to Allie Mae.
Every day?
Every day. Everybody point to Allie Mae and say 3 times. Everybody put 3 fingers up. 3 times a day. All your classmates, you're going to say God bless you to somebody. 3 times a day. And it can't be one person. All right. That's your responsibility. Okay. Now, we're talking about responsibility because here, now we're going to go a little bit old for some of the older kids. However, if the ox was in the habit of going in the past, and the owner was warned but did not confine it, so that it ended up killing a man or a woman, then the ox is to be stoned, and its owner is to be put to death. However, a ransom may be imposed on him, and the death penalty will be commuted if he pays the amount imposed. Okay, now, Mia Wiachia. Why? Why is the owner of the ox stoned? Why is the owner of the ox put to death also? Mia.
Because the owner didn't listen to the warning, and he also didn't care about anyone, and he didn't take his job or his responsibility as the ox's owner of confine and didn't confine it. So he wasn't being responsible. And being careless and not being responsible, it's pretty much his fault that the ox. It's his fault that the ox killed the people. It's pretty much that he killed them through his ox, because what I mean by that.
Pay attention, Adrian.
What I mean by that he killed people through his ox, means that he just let the ox go. He didn't confine it. So it killed people.
Okay, so he didn't take on his responsibility seriously. Wait, Lev, I'm going to talk to the older kids for a moment. Okay, he didn't take his responsibility seriously. This is why the grace doctrine, where you can just keep saying, I'm sorry to God, is God saying, no, you didn't take your responsibility seriously. I have to chastise you. And God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So Yeshua, our Messiah, is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's not changing. So the law is still here because responsibility is still here. Now, what if the owner were to say, "Yeah, well, I'm sorry, you're dead. Sorry, your wife is dead. You know, you can just go get another wife." No, that's wrong, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Your father's dead, man. You know. The ox. I told the ox, you stay there. Yes, Mia, Chia.
It's not that easy to overcome a death. Like, oh, sorry, your wife is dead. Go get another wife. It's not easy to overcome a death. That person meant a lot to you. So it's not easy to just go get another wife, or for your mom to marry someone else if your father dies. Death will affect everyone because that person is valuable to you, like is very dear to you. You love that person. No matter what, you would probably do anything. You would have tried something to prevent that person from dying. That's why also God tells the owner, to be stoned.
What do you think about this, Adrian?
Well, I mean, it's your ox. You're supposed to take care of it. You're supposed to be the one that controls it. You just let it go rampant, just killing everything, attacking everything.
But you just let it go. So you say, why don't you just say you're sorry to the the woman. Sorry. God will bless you. Sorry, but your husband's dead. That's what the Christians say. We're not under the law anymore. Just say you're sorry, right?
It's technically, the ox is still yours, and that's the main thing. You could have prevented it if you took precautions.
So, but can't you just say you're sorry to the man? He says ended up killing a man or a woman. So it killed a woman that was a mother of 7 children, and the guy just has to say sorry. God will bless you, Adrian.
No, God doesn't want you just letting your ox kill random people for no reason.
Okay. What do you think about this, Leia? What do you think about what Adrian just said?
I think I agree with the random people part that the owner didn't do nothing about it to prevent the ox from continuing this bad habit, and that um the owner should have listened to the warning. So I think that shows laziness and not and not having good responsibility, because the owner didn't want to do anything about it to prevent the ox from goring people.
Okay, very good, Leia. The owner didn't want to take on this responsibility for goring people. Mia seems to be feeling better today.
I'm just beginning, but I have a lot of things to say right now. It's like both the orange juice is working and the breakfast I had, and well, yeah,
Coffee.
I don't know. I seem to I like orange juice, but I don't know. Never mind. Never mind that. Also, you know what? The person can't just say sorry. The like what everyone else said. It's your ox. You're supposed to take responsibility, and sorries don't work. Especially something like that. Sorries don't work. Not even if you give a big ransom of money, it still won't work. It's a life. You can't bring back life. It's not like in the movies or video games. They can hit the reset button. You can't hit the reset button in real life. Even though probably many people would like to.
You can't hit the reset button in real life. Adasa, pay attention. Stop poking your brother. And Puzzle Cube, pay attention. You're playing with something else on the screen there. You don't want to be in class? Go tell your mother I don't want to be in class and see what your mom does. See, this is why I have the camera on, so I can see your faces. And, Marlies and Marley, tell your brother he's doing wrong when he's not paying attention in class. Because see, if you think God's not watching what you're doing, when the proverb says, you waste time as a youth. Okay, do you think God's not watching? Maybe you kids don't think God's watching, but God's recording everything in your life. And he knows when you're responsible and when you're not. So here, the owner didn't take his responsibility seriously. You're supposed to be in theology class, learning the perfect words in the Torah of God and how Yeshua followed his father's Torah. And that Yeshua is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And we're supposed to follow Yeshua, our Messiah. So if he followed Torah, we follow Torah. It's that simple. For Christians, well, we're not under the law anymore. That means you're not following Yeshua. Okay? So when you're warned, now listen up. Now this is why these verses are very important. Why are we talking about an ox for most of the class for our devotional? Because the Torah is there to warn you. And when you get up to heaven and you're in your trial, and the trial of Yeshua's court, Yeshua is going to say, I don't know you. Matthew 7, Matthew 7. I don't know you. And if Yeshua says, I don't know you, that's not going to be good. Because then he's going to put you to death. And he's going to send you to hell. And hell is a real place. You don't think it's a real place? Take your chances. Roll the dice. Have some fun. Live your life. Your worthless life, as Solomon says, as Shlomo says in Ecclesiastes and Colette. Okay? So here, we get a warning, and now the owner is going to be put to death also because the owner didn't confine the ox. So this is real important for leaders. Okay? Boys, I know this is not politically correct, but I don't really care because I follow God's word. Boys, you will be in charge of a home one day. If God makes you and allows you to become a man and have a wife who's a girl who has different body parts than you, okay, you'll be in charge of a home. Okay, you're responsible for running the home and keeping things in order. And this is God's way. In Numbers 30, the man is in charge, then the wife, then the children thereafter. Okay, so a man, he's got a child that keeps doing things bad. He's got to protect the family. He's got to chastise that child. Okay? Because that child, if you don't teach the child right, this is why we have so many people in jail. Because we removed God's word from our society. Because here, now we got a lot of more murders than ever before. It's not the guns that kill people. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. The gun doesn't jump out of my case and go, I'm going to go kill somebody. Wait, I'm a gun. I don't have any feet. I'm a gun. I don't have any hands. It takes a hand to fire that gun. Okay? So people kill people because people don't take on the responsibility properly. Okay? So here, the man was warned, keep that ox in the pen. And the guy's like, I don't care. So parents that don't train their children in the Word of God don't care about their children because they're going to do drugs, they're going to drink, they're going to do all sorts of bad things, and a lot of times they're going to kill people. Since they legalized pot in some states, we got more people getting killed by car accidents because they're high. They're smoking pot, marijuana, and they're killing people. Oh, I'm sorry, I was high. It doesn't bring the person back from the grave. It doesn't help the person's family that doesn't have their father, mother, or children anymore because you were high. Okay? So responsibility. You are responsible for following God's word. You are responsible for studying your work. You are responsible for doing what you have to do each day, your math, your language arts, your science, whatever your subject you're doing that day. You are responsible. But if you don't take your responsibility seriously, well, I'm not going to leave my cow. I don't really care. I don't really care what happens. It wasn't me that gored person. I don't have any, things on top of my head. I'm a unicorn. I only got one. Unicorns aren't real. Okay. So here, now, the man, the owner, God says, is going to be put to death. But he then says in verse 30, however, a ransom, now we're going to a new word. I'm going to ask the older kids what the word ransom, Allie Mae, you're going to be first. However, a ransom may be imposed on him, and the death penalty will be commuted if he pays the amount imposed. So we got to know what two words mean: ransom and commuted. Okay, Allie Mae, you have the first try at ransom. Allison May.
Ransom means that somebody has to pay money to get something else back. So like if they if somebody is kidnapped and the people who kidnapped them put a ransom on them, then their family or friends have to pay the ransom to get that person back.
And what they got to pay, like money? Is that what you're talking about? Money or something?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, Leia, do you agree with that? Do you agree with what Alimay said?
Yes, I do.
Well, repeat what Alimay said. What is a ransom?
A ransom is a sum of money that you have to pay, like a prisoner that you have, if they committed a crime, there's a ransom that you could pay to get them out.
Okay, very good. Now we're gonna go to Mia and Adrian. Mia and Adrian. Now we now understand what the ransom is. It's a amount of money, which is going to be a large amount of money because your ox killed somebody. That's worth a lot of money, a lot of money. And if you don't have that lot of money, we're going to put you to death. If you don't have that lot of money, you're going to become a slave for 7 full years. But if he pays the ransom, that lot of money, everybody say la money, money, la. Come on, Arlena, say la money, la money. Tell me the money, tell me la money. Okay, now Mia. If he pays, the ransom may be imposed on him, and the death penalty will be commuted. What does it mean, commuted?
I think what it means is maybe it might rise. I don't know. I think it says the death penalty will be it'll be raised, probably with it'll probably be higher, I guess.
No, he paid it. And then read the sentence. Read verse 30. Read it, Miss Mia. Read it out loud with feeling.
However, a ransom may be imposed on him, and the death penalty will be commuted if he pays the amount imposed. It says if he paid the amount imposed, so it could probably be I think I'm not sure what it means. I don't know if it means lowered or it might go higher. Like it'll either rise or be lowered. Like the price will be either raised or be lowered. I think.
Oh, we stumped Mia. She's because she doesn't have her coffee this morning. Okay, let's see if Mr. Adrian can get it. Mr. Adrian, what does the word commuted mean? The death penalty will be commuted if he pays the amount imposed.
It will be commuted. It will be removed. It will be if you pay it, it gets commuted and it gets removed.
All right, very good, Mr. Adrian. Very good. You pay the amount that was imposed, saying the amount that we have to pay, then the death penalty will be commuted or removed if he pays the amount that is imposed. Okay? It's a very important concept. Okay? So, how much do you think? Let's see. Allie Mae. Now, everybody, I want everybody thinking. I'm gonna go to a bunch of people on this. Okay. Allie Mae, you began your life, Allie Mae, as a Christian, sort of, doing Sunday. Did you go to Sunday church, Allie Mae?
Yeah,
Did you go like every Sunday?
not every Sunday. We just went occasionally.
Okay, so you were like a two-timer.
Yeah, and then we switched churches and we went to the Restoration Church, and they do church on Saturday.
Okay. So now you were going to church on Sunday for a while, but you were a little kid and you had to go with your parents, right? Okay. So how much money do you think it should cost you to pay back to God for every Sunday, every Saturday that Shabbat that you didn't keep? How much do you think it should cost you?
$1,000?
$1,000 per Shabbat that you missed?
No, no, no. $1,000 altogether because we didn't go that much.
Okay, so $1,000 in total. Okay, it's $1,000. What about you there, uh, Leia?
I think the ransom should be about, I think $1,000, like Allie.
Okay, what about you, Benjamin? Look at all the Shabbats that you missed growing up so far, and how much do you think that should cost you?
But if I do, then it would be at least, yeah, $1,000.
So $1,000. What do you think, Marley? Marley, what do you think? You guys haven't been doing Shabbat that long.
Mm,
You've been doing that Sunday pagan church thing, and
yeah,
that's
actually, we've been doing. I'm pretty sure we've been doing Shabbat for a couple months now.
a couple months. Okay, what about before that?
Well, apparently, a couple years before that, my mother used to try it, but she stopped.
Okay, but what about you, Adrian?
I mean, one thing is for sure, we've been doing it since I think around October of last year, somewhere around that time.
Okay, so
Even
so how old are you?
13.
So you've been doing it since you're like 11. Let's say 11. Let's give you an extra time.
No, since I was around 13.
Okay.
A little before
I'm just trying to give you some time off. All right, man. Come on, chill, man.
Okay.
Okay. So for 10 years or 11 years, you were not doing right, even though you're just a kid, but you're still responsible to at least say something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much do you think that should cost you?
Well, I don't have a lot of money
You have more
myself.
money than both of us.
Yeah, $150.
Well, so you think? But Benjamin was saying it should cost him 1,000.
That is a lot of money for a toddler.
Okay, so what do you think it should cost you? What do you think? What do you think your life is worth there, Mr. Adrian? Don't you think it's a valuable thing?
Yeah.
But don't you think Yeshua's life was pretty valuable?
Yeah.
Okay, it cost him his life, right?
He hasn't even lived his life to the fullest yet.
Well, he's a couple of thousand years old now.
No, he isn't.
No, I'm talking about Messiah.
Yeah, there's no time, but there's no time in heaven.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that other kid.
Oh yeah, well his daddy called him a really pretty good name. All right, so what do you think it should cost you? You know, all the time that you are not keeping the Shabbat and doing Sunday pagan stuff and things like that.
Maybe at the very least $100 per year.
$100 a year, so it's $1,100.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could afford that because my PC is $700.
Your PC's old.
Yeah, and I got it for free. Speaking of which.
So it ain't worth no $700. It's old. Maybe worth $7.
Maybe $300 at the most.
I think you're thinking too high there, son.
At least.
Okay. So now it's gonna cost you $1,100. Now let's think about this, guys. Arlena, you had your hand up. You had your hand up before.
How much?
How much? How much money do you think it should cost?
1,000.
$1,000. Okay, so we got this $1,000 stuck in our hand. All right, now here's an interesting thing, guys. We're all going to be in the court of Messiah one day. But when you leave here to go from earth to heaven for your trial, you leave your money behind. How do you think you're going to pay back Yeshua that $1,000, Ben? How can you repay him for his life? He died for your sins. How do you think you can repay Yeshua, Benjamin?
Listen.
So, wait. So, I think, no, I heard your question. So, how are we going to pay it in heaven? I think we're going to pay like by shekels and becas and minas.
Yeah, but you're dead. You don't got any pockets. You're going to be standing there naked in heaven unless Yeshua gives you this white robe. And even if he gives you a white robe, you still don't, you left your credit cards behind because you were dead. All right, think about this a second, guys. All right, mute Benjamin. All right, to finish up this class for today, what did we begin our class with? The word ransom. No, we were responsibility. Responsibility. Okay? The owner was warned. Okay? You're warned to stop sinning. Well, how do you know what sin is? Well, the Torah tells us what sin is. Your responsibility is to do what God says to do. And that's the 613 laws, the ones that apply to you. That's your responsibility. But if you don't take on your responsibility, then the owner, you, of yourself, is going to be put to death. All right, that's the end of our class today. Let's see what we got here. Let me make everybody screen big. Let me take down the PowerPoint there, the PDF, and so I can see everybody big. Let me see here. Let me change my screen here. Okay, and we're going to end our class with okay, Marlies.
Right.
Lord, I thank you for this wonderful day that we could spend devotional, and I pray that we will all will have a good time the rest of our day, and that we'll all do well. And I pray for those who need praying for. Amen.
Amen. Might I quickly
Amen.
add?
Everybody have